Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, guys. So what I have for you guys today is going to be a slightly different video than I've been doing recently. So I'm sure all of you guys are aware that fantasy football is a thing, and I will soon be doing my fantasy football video for the Premier League season coming up. But this season actually, The Telegraph have launched a championship version of fantasy football. So what I thought would be a cool idea to do for a video is actually build my fantasy football team for the upcoming championship season. So in the description down below, I will leave a link to the website where you guys can also go ahead and make your team for the championship fantasy football. I'll also leave a league code and a password so you guys can go ahead and join the league I have created. And then at the end of the season, whoever does come out on top, I'm thinking I may do a prize or something, maybe a gift card or something like that. Let me know down below what you guys think about that. But I'm interested to see what some people have for teams this year. So if you guys do go on to create a team on fantasy football, let me know who is in it in the comments down below. I'm very interested to know because in the championship this season, there's a lot of big players who I think could have a big season this year. So let me know down below who are you definitely including in your team. So in this video here today, I'll be picking what my team will be for the upcoming season. So I'll first of all talk you through how to set up an account and everything like that on it, and then we'll get into making my team. So as you do get onto the website, this is what you'll be presented with, and then it's pretty self-explanatory really, but I'll quickly go over it. So you go on to go pick a team, and then when you get to this page here, you then pick the team you want to select, for example this one here, and then you click submit down at the bottom. And then for this website, you need to register an account to it. So you don't need to be putting any money into it or anything like that, but for this website you do need to be 18 years or older. So if you're not 18, then I suppose you can get a parent or something to sign up an account for it, as there are some gambling things to do with this website. So that's the reason it is 18 and above, but we're not going to be doing any of that in today's video. You just need to fill out the form to sign up, and then make sure you do go ahead and sign up for the free edition, as there are some paid things you can also sign up for, but just sign up for the free edition and then hop on over to the leagues, then go join a private league, and then here are the pin and password to use to join the Ben HD YouTube League. So these will be listed in the description down below, so you guys can just go ahead and copy and paste them. But the league pin is 8129196, and then the password is 5000 to celebrate 5,000 subscribers. But so there are the things you need to join the league. So let me know down below. Also as well, would you like me to make this sort of like a monthly series as I update you throughout the month of how my fantasy football team changes? And we can also look at who's at the top of the league and everything like that. So I believe that throughout the season you're allowed to make 40 transfers on this website with up to 5 per game week. So you can make quite a few transfers, but your starting team is pretty important. So now guys, let's go ahead and build my fantasy football team for the championship this season. So as you can see, the first thing we have to talk about is formations to go for. Now I've never played championship fantasy football before, but from playing Premier League fantasy football quite a bit, what I normally like to do, I like to go quite attack heavy. Defenders usually don't normally get too many points. You get points in this by basically people scoring goals, getting assists or getting clean sheets basically. So what I'm thinking in terms of a formation is to go with the 3-4-3 formation and get a lot of attackers. So as we do have 50 million in the budget, we're going to have to budget some areas and cheap out on a couple of players so we can afford some of the expensive ones. But we'll start out in net. So in goal we have quite a few highbrow options. We've of course got Randolph, Sam Johnson, Westwood, Stockdale, Manone, Alex Smithies could be a good one, but I'm going to go for Kieran Westwood. I feel like last season I think Sheffield Wednesday had the 3rd best defensive record, so I feel like going for Kieran Westwood, he'll be a solid shout, and he's probably going to get quite a few clean sheets this year. He does cost 3.8 million, so he is quite a bit, but I'm going to throw Westwood in. And then now time for defenders. So for defenders, I'm going to go for a back 3, and as you can see on screen there are quite a few highbrow defenders. Of course, John Terry costing 4.5 million, Ben Gibson costing quite a bit as well, Tom Lees. I'm actually going to go a little bit cheap on this defence, I think it's fair to say. So here are the defenders that I'm going to go for. So first of all, we have Cyrus Christie. I kept it fairly cheap for this defence, but Cyrus Christie definitely being the most expensive at 3.9 million. I think Middlesbrough will have a stable back 4, so I expect him to get quite a few clean sheets, and going forward he could be a threat. Callum Patterson only costing 3.2 million. I think he's a bit of a man-mountain really. From set pieces, I think he could be deadly, and I think Cardiff could keep quite a few clean sheets. Under Neil Warnock, they seem to be quite well drilled at the back. And then Andre Wisdom as the last player. I'm actually baffled by how cheap Andre Wisdom is actually going to be. Only 3.2 million for Andre Wisdom. Gary Rowett teams normally like to be very stable at the back, so 3.2 million for Andre Wisdom, in my opinion, is an absolute steal. And now, guys, we need to move on into the midfield. So this is the area of the pitch which I think could be... We're going to spend quite a bit on this, so let's go ahead and pick some midfielders. First of all, we have gone for Alex Pritchard. In my opinion, I think this guy could have a massive season for Norwich. I think he's got everything he needs to succeed. I think he'll fit into Daniel Farke's system, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. He only costs 4.9 million, so he's not the most expensive of midfielders, so I'm happy to include him in the team. Next of all, we then have Jota coming into the team, provided he does actually stay at Brentford, as he is being linked with a move away from the club. This guy is going to get tons of goals and assists this season, in my opinion, and Brentford could be a dark horse this season, but I'm definitely going to include Jota in the team. He does cost quite a bit of money. He costs 5.5 million, so he's not a cheap option, but he is a good one in my opinion. We're also going to go for Tom Cairney. Now, probably one of the most expensive players on the game, Tom Cairney, costing a grand total of 6 million. However, it is quite interesting that actually 42% of players on this website have Tom Cairney in their squad, and I think that is for a reason. Going forward, this guy is going to be pivotal for Fulham this season. Goals, assists are pretty much guaranteed with Tom Cairney, and as long as he does avoid injury, 6 million, I think it's worth it. And then for the last player coming into the team in my midfield is actually going to be Aiden McGeady. Now, I couldn't believe how cheap Aiden McGeady was on this game. He only costs 3.3 million, which in my opinion is an absolute steal. Of course, last season he got Preston's player of the season, and for a cheap midfielder this season, McGeady, I think that's a good one for us. There are, of course, some other options you could go for in midfield. Helder Costa there, costing 5.9 million, and I would actually go for Helder Costa. I'd probably include him in this team, although I do believe he is out for the first few games of the season, so Helder Costa probably will come into my fantasy football team, but a bit later on into the season. And then we do move on into the strikers. So first of all, coming in as my first striker is actually going to be Kenneth Zohore. Now, I know a lot of people this season have been backing Cardiff to be a dark horse this season, and that could well be the case. I think going forward, Kenneth Zohore is going to be massive for Cardiff this season. I think last season he was great for them, but this season, with more creative players playing in and around him, I think the addition of Lee Tomlin to play as a playmaker behind him, that will just see Zohore score even more goals this season. So for 5.1 million, I think that's a very good buy this season in fantasy football. And then coming up next in the team, we have by far the most expensive player coming into my team, and that is going to be Jonathan Kodjia. Kodjia cost me 6.8 million, so definitely not a cheap option. He is one of the most expensive strikers this season on fantasy football. The only two more expensive are Chris Wood and Britt Assombalonga. I'm not going for Assombalonga because I feel like he's a little bit injury prone. Chris Wood, it's yet to be seen whether Leeds will be the same under this new manager than they were under Gary Monk last season, so I'll hold back on them a little bit more. But with Jonathan Kodjia, I feel like he guarantees goals. He's had 2 great seasons in the Championship already, both with Villa and Bristol City, so I think he's a safe bet, and I think he will score tons of goals this season. And then, as we don't have the most budget left, my last striker is going to be a little bit of a bargain buy, but I think he could be an absolute gem. Of course, I had to include a Preston player in this, and that is going to be Tom Barkhuizen, only costing 4.2 million, which is ridiculously cheap in my opinion. If I had to call it now from a Preston fan's perspective, I honestly think that this guy will be our top scorer this season. So for a top scorer of a team to only cost 4.2 million is an absolute steal in my opinion, and I think he'll get tons of goals this season. The amount of pace he has going forward is pretty ridiculous, I think it's fair to say. Alex Neil has already said that he will fit into his style, and from pre-season, this guy has been on serious form. So Tom Barkhuizen at only 4.2 million, he's my last player coming into the team. So as you can see on screen there, guys, there is my team for the upcoming season for fantasy football. So this is a team which is going to be starting this season for me. Like I said before, over the course of the season, you are allowed to make 40 transfers, so this team will be chopped and changed throughout the season, I'm sure, but as a starter team, I'm pretty happy with this one. So guys, let me know in the comments down below, what is your opinion of my team? Do you think it has potential to win the Ben HD YouTube League, or do you think your team is in with a better chance? Let me know who you guys are including in the comments down below. But apart from that, guys, that will now wrap it up for this video. So if you have enjoyed, make sure you do leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. As well as that, make sure you subscribe for regular championship content. If you would like to see these videos monthly and you'd like to see me update my team every once in a while and update you guys on the league and have a little look at what everyone else's team's looking like, let me know down below. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out all the other links in the description down below. But apart from that, thank you so much, and I'll see you all in the next one.